seat you by the fire. Listen, there's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright, but I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light, and it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time.
Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. If you're listening on the radio, again, thank you for spending some time with us every night. If you're listening, downloading this on a podcast, I guess that's a little creepy that I'm talking to your ear. If you're listening on a podcast, don't turn around. There's something there. If you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook as we're doing this live and recording, again, we really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Hey, I want to talk small apartments. I'm going to spend the next hour here talking about small apartments and why we love them. So we absolutely are big fans of small apartments. And let us just start by defining what a small apartment is. Most people are going to say, under 100 units, right? Because there's a whole bunch of folks out there that do these apartment complexes and say, we won't touch anything under 100 units, right? And that's good for us because we like them under 100 units. Now, they can be as small as 5 units and all the way up to, in our world, probably about 60, even though we come across a couple like 96. So let's call it 5 units to 100 units. That's a small apartment building, 5 to 100. But as you cross over that 40 doors, you're going to start needing some on-site management and things like that. So really, 5 to 40 is going to be what you and your spouse can handle, or you and your kids can handle. And then anything over like those 50 doors, you're going to start needing an outside management company. So, but again, there's a whole range from 5 to 100 small apartments. That's what we're talking about. We had we're having an actually fantastic week for small apartments, and the reason we're talking about it is because I think I've looked at 6 deals so far, and it's Thursday morning at the time of recording this. So the deals are there. We kicked one out to the mastermind, so folks in the mastermind are looking at a little 10-unit. It's not a bad deal. We've got another one we're starting our due diligence on. 2 more we've sent out LOIs on. So we're moving forward on small apartments, and again, inside our mastermind and inside Mr. Texas Real Estate, we have our own property management of folks, right? So we manage our own properties. So we can absorb an 8, a 12, a 16, really no problem at all. When we start getting to the 96 that we're looking at, well, then we're going to start looking at, hey, do we need someone on-site and do we need someone off-site? But the big hurdle, I think, is when you start getting into small apartments is and there's going to be 3 hurdles, and we'll go through them today. Number 3 is going to be the property management. Again, a lot of people get into apartment syndications and apartment world and commercial, and they're like, I want 1,000 doors. I want 10,000 doors. I'm not quitting until I have 3,000 doors. And that's good for you. That's awesome. God bless you. Knock on wood. Go knock them dead. But for most of us, again, you know who we're talking to. You're probably in your 40s and 50s, maybe in your 60s. You're looking for that passive income, somewhat passive income, or maybe even just a part-time job during retirement if you get to retire early. Then having like a 36 unit is kind of a really good sweet spot. Because if you have a handyman, and you'll have to work to find a good handyman and to get all your emergency contacts in place, emergency plumber, emergency electrician, roofer, all that stuff. But if you take good care of the building and you've got folks that are able to help you and do the property management, then 36 with a software program is fairly easy. Okay. Now you may be the guy. Hey man, I'm gonna live that life, right? I want the whole Instagram life, right? I don't want to do anything. I'm gonna live in San Pablo, and I'm just gonna open up my bank account on my phone and see money in there every day. I don't want to know anything. Well, okay, you go do that. But for most of us, again, a 36 unit, which is what one of the ones we're looking at right now, that can throw off $120,000, $150,000 a year, and will require maybe 15 hours a week once it's all set up. And obviously the first and last week will be more intense than the middle 2 weeks. But being able to properly manage that 26, 24, 12 unit yourself is not bad. It's not bad. You can do it. Now, you can hire an outside management company. I'm a little... we've been through 5 property managers now, and we have one that we like. And so the other 4, we've absorbed all those properties and brought them in-house. We still have the one guy we think is fair and forthright and actually cares about our property. So they're hard to find is the challenge. So that's why a lot of people go in to be lenders. They don't want to deal with the toilets and tenants and termites, right? So, but we do. And we like it, and the way we manage it and we run our little company here, it makes a lot of sense. So the first challenge is going to be finding a good property management team, right? And if you're going to do it yourself, if you're going to be on the collectible side and the listing and leasing side, and you're just going to manage the construction and maintenance and emergency maintenance, I think it's doable. I think you can have a lot of fun in a sort of semi-retirement world picking up $150,000 from a little 36 unit. That's nice, right? Whatever, divide that number, whatever that 7 cap is, right? But that's really, really nice, and you can do that. Now, there's some other challenges, but even if you're just doing an 8 unit, right? So we have a lot of folks in our mastermind, and they come in and they're all pumped up from, I went to the 10X conference and I did this and I did that. We're like, all right, well, how many doors do you have? I've got none. And how many do you want? I want 1,000. Okay, can we start with 8? Can we start with 12? Or do you really want to go out and jump out and get 450 doors with absolutely zero experience doing this? And then it's like, oh, yeah, okay, yes, let's start with 8, Robert. Okay, great. Hey, guys, I got a 10-unit right here. I just sent out last night. People are looking at it. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully people will take it down and make some money from it, right? But there's a small apartment for you. We're looking at another one. We got an 8 and a 12 as part of a package that will spin off. Again, start small. Let's just start getting those. Because what you're going to realize is you don't need... if you have 3,000 doors, what you're really talking about is making a micro percentage of the cash flow, right? You're in syndications with so many other people that you're going to make like $7 a door, $6 a door. And so I need 1,000 of them so I can make $6,000 a month. I need 3,000 of them so I can make $18,000 a month versus having a 36 unit that, maybe you're at 50% equity on. And you put some money in there to pay it down a little bit, and you're taking home $12,000, $15,000 on a small, very manageable apartment. That's why we love small apartments. Again, we are looking at them all over the place. Some of them are sexy. Some of them are not sexy. Gonna have to go through it. You're gonna, the best way to learn is by doing, and that's what we're having our mastermind folks go and do. Anyway, this is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. We are broadcasting from the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. If you're watching us online right now, well, we'll do that in the break. We have our building. I think we have 13 spots left. So we're well over 60% booked. We have 13 spots left in the building. We're going to start pushing it. We've got, looks like 3 more people coming in, so we'll be down to 10 offices left. This is really, really good news for us. We want you in the building. We want you doing transactions. So make sure you take a look. Come on by the Texas Real Estate Investment Center, 5295 Hollister. Check out the building. Check out the offices that are available. This is the hub for a lot of investing that's going on here in Houston. And I think if you're a serious investor, if you're a small apartment investor, an apartment syndicator, a wholesaler, have a small agency with a team of agents, this is a great, great building for you to be here. So, again, this is Robert. This is Mr. Texas Real Estate. We'll be back. Guys, if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to tell you tonight and tomorrow night, because I don't know when this recording's going out. So tonight, we have, I think, 4 seats left in the building. We're going to just do it in the conference room. We do a mastermind preview. So for those of you who are thinking about the mastermind or trying to figure out how to get your portfolio together, just come on over to the building. It's 5295 Hollister, 77040. Come by. It starts at 7. It's $10. You can go online, buy the ticket. We have a few drinks up there for you guys. But we're going to sit down and just kind of figure out where you're at. So it'll be a good 90 minutes of just sort of clearing the brain space, right? Just sort of getting some fog and cobwebs away and just sort of getting yourself focused. So we're going to do that mastermind preview. It's from 7 to 8:30 tonight. I'll be running it. I'm not sure if Jason will be here or not. But it's $10. Go online. It's on the Eventbrite page. You can go to our website, mrtxre.com. MR is in Mr. TX is in Texas. RE is in realestate.com. And it's $10 for the ticket. Come on upstairs. We're going to meet in our conference room. And we're just going to figure out where you're at. That's it. And maybe the mastermind makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe you don't need the mastermind. There are plenty of times we've told people you don't need us. You just need to go hire this person, right? And so if you want to get a little clarity on where you're at and what you want to do in the buy and hold world, then we invite you to come out to the Mastermind Preview tonight at 7 o'clock here at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center, 5295 Hollister, 77040. And I think A-Rock will put that in the chat. Tomorrow night, and again, I'm saying this in the break because I don't know if this will hit the radio or not. No, tonight. That's it. It's tonight. And then tomorrow from 11 to 2, we've got some pretty high-end folks from EXP stopping by. We'll put some Facebook posts out there in the next hour or so. But if you're interested in EXP, if you want to kind of understand what's going on, if you're already in our group in Mr. Texas Real Estate, I think we got about almost 20 agents now. We're going to invite you to come in. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about growing. We're going to talk about how to find the listings, find the clients, find the investment properties. We got one brand new agent. Man, he's got 6 deals under contract in less than 60 days. In less than 60 days. He has almost 2.5. He's almost close to getting capped if all these closed. So he'll cap out in about 120 days. And that's because he comes here and he sat down for an hour with Jason, and Jason said, this is how I want you to go find me deals. These are the areas I want you to find me deals. And if you bring these deals, we'll buy them. And he's on fire. So if you're interested in EXP, if you're interested in starting your real estate career or moving over, we have leases, we have listings. We've got a lot of deals that we're moving around here. I think I'm going to say in 60 days we'll have close to $25 million in transactions just in our office. Not the rest of the building, just in our office. $25 million in 60 days. And I'd say go out 120 days, we'll be close to $50 million in transactions. So we need agents for that. And if you're interested and if you thought about it, well, come on by the Texas Real Estate Investment Center tomorrow. 5295 Hollister, 77040 from 11 to 2. Just come on up to the community center. and myself. Jason will be up there, and one of our head agents will be there, as well as some big time guys like Brant and some other folks. Connor's coming out of Dallas, so it'll be a really good environment for you if you guys are thinking about EXP. If you're ready to make the jump over to our team, this is certainly going to be a pretty good event. And I think Jason will record an hour with Connor on the radio as well. All right, so that's the stuff that's happening before the show will go out on the air. So I want to take a little bit of time to do that. All right, A-Rock, let's go back to small apartments. Hey, welcome back. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, and we're broadcasting live from the Texas Real Estate Investing Center. Whew. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, we're talking about small apartments. So that first hurdle is always going to be, all right, I'm going to go buy 36 units. I'm going to go buy 40 units. I'm going to buy 12 and 8. Right? Those are the ones we have on the board that we're bringing to our mastermind in the next 2 weeks. 12, 8. We're looking at a 96 deal. We're looking at a 36 deal. We're probably going to pass on a 38 deal. We passed on a 10. They've dropped it to the mastermind. Those guys are looking at it. So there's a lot of small apartment deals that are just flowing through our office this week. It's just tremendous. But the first hurdle is going to be the three hurdles, right? Number 3, how do I property manage it? How do I take care of the management of it? And again, if it's a small property, if it's 8 or 12, I'd say even up to like 40, you can kind of manage it yourself with the right software and the right handyman around you. You can get a lot of things done, and it's good. And that can become your part-time retirement career, right? So you can try and make, again, depending on how much money you put down, what cap rate you're buying, you should be able to make $150,000 a year from that 36 or 40 unit, and you manage it yourself, and that's not a bad little retirement program. Then maybe you go buy an 8 or 12, get yourself to 100 doors, and you're pulling in $300,000 a year, and maybe you have an assistant that does most of the heavy lifting as well as a handyman crew. That's kind of really where a lot of folks in our mastermind envision themselves in that 5 years, and they have a really strong assistant that, that can also do the leasing and can handle some of the software. So it's not a full-time job. It's something you're going to pop your head into maybe 15 hours a week, and maybe it's 25 hours on the first of the month because that's when the most of the action is happening. And then you're able to take your vacations and take your long trips and jump in your Sprinter van and go down to South Padre Island and watch SpaceX fire off rockets. I'm sorry, that's my vision. That's not your vision. Anyway, but we love small apartments. You got to figure out the property management. Number 2, right? Number 2 is the problem with small apartments is the due diligence. A lot of the ones we're running into now, when you get to 36, 48, 96, these bigger numbers, they're going to have P&Ls. They're going to have, 2019, 2020, up to 2021. We were just looking at 2 sets of P&Ls this morning, right? One for the 36 unit, one for the 96 unit. All looking good, all looking real. We go through it. Hey, there's some sort of BS numbers here and there, and this is a real problem. Why are they spending this much money? We have to investigate. But you have all the data in front of you to do your due diligence, right? This is really critical. You get to do your due diligence. It's all right there. And most of the people that take it seriously will also give you plenty of time to do your due diligence. Hey, we want 45 days here. We're going to need 60 days with this, and we plan to close in at least 120 days. So again, the bigger it is, the more professional it really comes off as. The smaller it is, then the more likely you're going to buy from a second generation or a third generation owner. We run across it all the time. It's like my grandmother and my grandfather ran this apartment building. There's 11 units here. My grandfather did all the maintenance. My grandmother did all the bookkeeping, and they're not with us anymore. I've had it for 2 years. I don't have the money to do all the repairs that need to be done, and I just want to sell it. And the best you'll get is maybe a couple bank statements. You won't be able to do your due diligence in any sort of realistic fashion, right? The girl who's selling it to you has no idea what an estoppel is, right? Doesn't know what rent condition forms are. Doesn't know any of this stuff. Doesn't even know where the deposits are. I don't know. Did we take? I don't know. We took deposits. And so when you're dealing with that 5, 8, 10, 12, even like up to like 18 or 20 units, a lot of times you're going to find out that it's just someone who, again, it was either in the family, they inherited it, or it's kind of been handed off, and they're really not keeping it at a professional level because they're not professional apartment managers. So doing your due diligence on that becomes a problem. And then the other thing is, again, if it's the granddaughter or the grandson or the cousin, or, I bought this, I got into some club and I bought this thing and I don't know what the heck I'm doing now, and nobody's around to help me, and I don't know what the numbers are. And, you say, well, it looks like you're supposed to be collecting $24,000 a month rent, but why is there only $16,000 getting deposited? Where's the missing $8,000 a month in cash? Oh, I'll have to double check that. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. Well, how's that going to get through underwriting? So all of a sudden you're dealing with these deferred maintenance, sloppy bookkeeping, and skimming. Right? We just collect cash. And I know we're supposed to be collecting $24,000, but again, only 18 or 19 actually get into the bank. Okay. Got it. So that due diligence on the smaller units is a real problem. And there's ways to work around. It's going to be about the way you finance it. But if you're not getting at least 90 days, like I get 120 with a business professional, and I don't need 120. It's all laid out. All goes in underwriting very, very quickly. I do my phase 1. I do my property inspection. I call for my appraisals. And, within 45 days, the package is there. It goes to underwriting, and usually we're going to go ahead and get that thing done in like 60 to 75 days. We don't need 120. We ask for 120 because things pop up on the survey, on this and on that. Hey, we don't want to be up against a deadline that isn't our fault. But when you go to the sort of inherited process, the novice, the non-professional folks, they expect you to close like it's a single family. Well, I bought my house in 45 days. Why can't you buy this in 45 days? You're like, lady, I'm going to give you 45 days to give me all the legal documents required in this legal transaction. And I don't think you're going to be able to deliver in 45 days. That's why I need a 45-day due diligence period. It's not just on me, it's on you. Oh, well, I don't keep books just out of my bank account. Well, how do I get it underwritten? Then all of a sudden you're looking for private lenders. You're going to do a full equity syndication. Maybe you're going to take a hard money loan based on a value, and you're going to have to do a quick little 6 months of hard money, do some paint, do some upgrades, and then try and re-roll it out with your 6 months of rent rolls there, kind of stabilize it. So there's different ways to do it. And that's kind of the way we've done 3 of our 4 small apartments were very much, we had to take a hard money loan because the paperwork was a mess. So financing is going to be the biggest issue here, and we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. But again, number 3 is how do you manage it? Number 2 is your due diligence period. Can you get good details to provide to underwriting to get the good loans? Or do you have to go another way? And then number 1, we come up, we're going to talk about the financing. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, broadcasting from the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. Yes! That was perfect. Said all that right in a row. Hey, guys, make sure you check us out. We've got about 10 spaces left in our building, so if you're a real estate investor or a real estate professional, we think this is the place you're going to want to be. There's already tons of events. We had about 30 people here yesterday for a CE class. There's going to be people here tonight. There's other people now taking some of the rooms and doing events. So it's becoming very exciting. A lot of foot traffic in the building. I think you'd want to come check it out. It's 5295 Hollister, 77040. Come on by. We'll be back. So hold off. Once again, guys, if you're just joining us, before we go back to the radio show, because I don't know when this radio show is going to air, but we have an event tonight, Thursday night. It's a mastermind preview, and essentially what we do is we just sort of, there's no real PowerPoint we go through. We're just going to sort of just uncloud your brain. So if you're thinking, hey, I want to be a buy and hold person, or I've started buying and holding, I've got some challenges, I'm trying to figure some things out, just come on up to the building, 5295 Hollister. You're going to go on to our website, mrtxre.com. MR is in Mr. TX is in Texas. RE is in realestate.com. Go to events. Tickets $10. For $10, come. You're going to sit in our conference room, and we're going to sit there and sort of uncloud some things, push away some cobwebs, and kind of get you some focus. And if you think the mastermind's a benefit, great. If not, that's fine. But I'll certainly give 90 minutes of my time tonight to help you guys figure some things out, where you want to be, what the next step looks like, what does 1, 2, 3 years really look like for you. So it's a $10 ticket, and it's really, the only reason we're doing is really to make sure that people are serious, right? So it's $10. Come on by. We'll sit there. We'll kind of go through everything you're working on and figure out if the mastermind is what you need. And if not, no big deal. But we can certainly do a little brainstorming on your portfolio where you want to be. So that's tonight, 7 o'clock to, there's a baby in here, 7 o'clock to 8:30. I'm definitely leaving at 8:30. I've got to go to Corpus very, very early in the morning, so 7 to 8:30. Make sure you guys are coming by the building tonight. And then tomorrow, Jason and some of our top EXP agents will be hosting an event here at the building from 11 to 2. That's free. You can just come by the building, 5295 Hollister 77040. It's up in the community center. Community center in our building is from 11 to 2. We're going to be talking about EXP. We're talking about folks that are already capping after 120 days. We're talking about how to grow your downline. We're talking about a lot of things about how to build your business and start making your $100,000 to $200,000 a year as a real estate agent. So you might want to stop by tomorrow for that, and that's Friday. Okay, back to the radio show. Let's bring me in. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Texas Real Estate Radio Network, and this is broadcasting from the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. Dang, I'm 1 for 3 today. All right, guys, we're talking about small apartments, and we talked about the first challenge is, it's not 100 units, it's not 150, 400 units, so there's not going to be an on-site management team, right? Which could be 2 or 3 people. You're looking at like 36 units or 18 units or 10 units. And at that point, you may want to just manage it yourself, or when you get to sort of 60, 70, 80, you're going to have to find for really that needle in a haystack, right? A really good property manager that makes it profitable and cares about your property. What we've done with our mastermind and our Mr. Texas Real Estate group is we just have our own property manager, like in-house, because we just found that 4 out of 5 property managers did not care about our buildings anywhere close to the level we cared about it. So managing those properties become a challenge. It is. And again, you can figure it out. A lot of people have. Number 2, if you're buying a bigger unit that's professionally managed, the due diligence is pretty easy. Usually all the forms are there. There's not a lot of chicanery going on. It's pretty clean. We see this as payroll. We see this as the interest payment. Okay, great. Hey, we can do a quick number off your P&L. This is a 5 cap at the price you're asking. I need it to be this, so we're going to have to figure some things out. But when you get to the smaller units, like the 8s and the 12s, and usually those are like an inheritance or someone bought them and just didn't understand what they had to do with it, and there's no paperwork to begin with. And the best you're going to get is some bank statements. And so you look at the rent rolls that are collected. Hey, there's $24,000 collected. That's great. But wait a minute, only $19,000 made it into the bank. What happened? And so you're just going to find all kinds of problems in those smaller units that are being held by, again, the granddaughter, the grandson, the cousin, the ex-partner or the divorcee, the divorcee, hey, this was, my wife's deal and I have it, I don't know what's going on, and you're just not going to have clean paperwork. So that's going to be a challenge when you're dealing with the sort of 5 to 30 unit world. But that's a good world. I mean, you make a lot of money there, but there's going to be some challenges. And the final challenge, and we'll spend the next 2 segments kind of talking about it, is your financing. So, again, your financing on small apartments is getting better, but it was bad during COVID. Right? We have 4 small apartments that we are finally now getting refied. The banks have come around. Now it's like, oh, yeah, we do small apartments. We're like, wait a minute. We talked to you 90 days ago, and you weren't going to touch it. Oh, well, we're ready now. Oh, we had all that PPP to do. Okay, you got it, Miss Banker, Mr. Banker. We got it. We understand. So there is good lending out there on apartment buildings, right? And again, you're always looking for the loan to value, right? Not the loan to cost, and certainly not the loan to cost of loan to value. Right? We're going to pay 80% of 80%. So you're like, okay, so you're at 60%, right? Well, no, we're at 80% of 80%. Well, okay, that's 60%. Well, I guess if you look at it that way, what else, other way is there to look at it, Mr. Banker? So the financing is getting better, but it's always been a challenge. You know, the old saying is, it's easier to borrow $1 million than it is to borrow $100,000, right? In our world now, it's easier to borrow $10 million than it is to borrow $1 million. Because for the underwriters and the banker, it's all the same amount of work. It's just a lot fatter payday. And if you're playing in that small space, you're going to be scrutinized a little bit more than, a guy who comes in and says, I'm buying these 1,500 units on Fort Lauderdale, right on the Ocean Road there, right on the coastal highway. Great. We like that one. Hey, I'm going to buy this 12 unit in Corpus. It's a moneymaker. Let's take a good look at that one. So your financing becomes a challenge. Again, there's solutions because we're doing it. Folks on our mastermind are doing it. Other people are doing it. But there is a challenge with the financing. For sure, there is a challenge. But once you get over that challenge, once you understand that there are some really good government-backed loans, then all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, okay, now I see how people are doing it. Now I understand why I can hold this for 15, 20 years. So let's go through the banker talk. Loan to value is pretty straightforward. We do an appraisal. We're going to pay up to 70% of loan to value. Apartment comes in, appraised at $1 million. The loan will be for $700,000. That's the max. They may tweak it a little bit. They may say, hey, this was built in 64 and you're not upgraded. There's still some issues here, so we don't want to put $700,000 in. We're really comfortable at 630. Whatever. That's 60%, by the way, is going to be a magic number. You're always going to find them kind of in that world. But let's just say you do get the 70% loan to value, $700,000. That means you're responsible to come to the floor, come to the table with $300,000. Now, got to be careful how you do that. You can do a little syndication. You can do joint venture. You can bring in a partner. But remember, anyone who's 19% or more owner goes on the books. They have to qualify for the loan. So one of our apartments that we have a JV partner in for 25%, but he can't qualify for the loan. So now we have a dilemma. And the only way we're going to solve it is to sell the property, everyone taking their money, and we're out. And that's what we're doing. Now, that's not his problem. That's our problem. That was ours, not knowing and not understanding. He came in with the money that we needed at the time we needed it, and we're very grateful for him help us out on that deal. But now on the refi, because he's a 25% owner and he has went through some stuff going on right now in COVID, he will not qualify for $1 million loan. Therefore, I can't get the loan. Or I'm going to get a lot less. That's not what we want. So it's time to sell the property, make our money back. So again, where does that $300,000 come from in our scenario? It's $1 million on the loan to value. The bank's going to give us $700,000. Where does that $300,000 come from? So you can do a syndication for $300,000, which is going to wind up costing you $400,000. But if it's a big enough cap, who cares, right? Again, you can joint venture. You can get 2 partners in for 10% each, and then you own 10% or you own the other 80% of it, and you guys are all coming to the table with $100,000. Great. It works out perfect. You can get a mezzanine fund, right? You can get a loan on that. And there's not a lot of people doing mezz on small apartments. We're about to start a lending fund for mezzanine on small apartments. It's not ready yet. Don't ask me when. We plan on having it done by the end of the year and raise money to go. But you can take a second position loan or a mezzanine loan, okay? And typically those are going to be 15% max. So you've got $700,000, which is 70%. You have a $150,000 mezz loan if the first allows a mezzanine loan. Now you're at 85%. Now you only have to come up with $150,000. And again, you should have that. You should have that in reserves. You can find a partner. It'll make that very much easier. And that's kind of the easy way to take down $1 million when you have loan to value. Bigger, you're going to be talking about syndications. I think anytime you need to raise $600,000 or more, you're going to be doing a syndication. If you're under $500,000, you should be able to figure that out. Certainly, if you're under $250,000, you shouldn't need a syndication. But if you get close to $500,000 or above, you're going to start looking at syndications. This is Robert. I'm with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, broadcasting from the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. Yes, I'm 2 for 4. Hey, if you make sure you check us out on our website, mrtxre.com, and we'll be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're talking about small apartments, why we love them so much, but there are some challenges. But again, if you can put, so I talked about the challenges, the management, getting your real due diligence done, and finding the right financing, right? And so the best case scenario is you're going to find a first position loan that does loan to value. That's the takeaway from the last segment. And how you bridge that gap, that's kind of up to you. You're going to have to figure that out. Again, we're doing it in our mastermind. We're showing folks how to do it in our mastermind. We're creating a mezzanine fund specifically for our mastermind folks. So those will be the only ones allowed to borrow from that fund. Those are the things we're doing. I'll explain. Let me go through. Let's see. What can I talk about? Oh, I got one down in Corpus. So let's go through this. I have one in Corpus. It's $700,000. I'm buying it at a 9 cap. So I'm buying it at a 9 cap. It's 12 unit, $700,000. I'm buying it at a 9 cap. It's a beautiful deal. It's a perfect deal. We were able to secure financing, I believe 75% loan to value. It appraised over the purchase price. Great. All good things, right? And this is being a partner doing this. Again, it's a 9 cap. And my plan is, because it's not a lot of money, is when I have free money, when I make have a nice little chunk of change coming off of something, my plan is to pay that apartment down. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people, oh my God, why would you ever do that? You want everything leveraged. Well, I don't. I want a little peace of mind. I want to have 20 doors free and clear, and that's 12 of them. And so it runs on about 35% in expenses. Taxes, insurance, maintenance, electric, common area, that type of thing. So if I have 12 units making $1,000, that's $12,000 a month, $150,000 a year. I know I'm rounding up. It's $150,000 a year, and my 35% in expenses and turns and unoccupied. It's that 35% number. I'm sitting at about $100,000 a year when that's free and clear. So I can put in $700,000 to make $100,000 a year. That's a good, nice little return. Plus I have an asset that will be growing. So let's call it $1 million in 5 years. To me, that's nice. I mean, am I going to be on, I don't know, the TV or some big time YouTube channel talking about my Class A, in Miami or so? No, I'm not. That's not what I'm looking at. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is a nice little 12 unit in Corpus Christi that that will cash flow forever. And that's why we love small apartments. Now I can get that one. If I can get like another, I'm looking at another like 18 units. I'll have 30 down there, plus a few doors, plus some Airbnbs. And all of a sudden, your small apartments are kicking off $30,000 a month. And I'm not sure what else you need. So that's like kind of where our mastermind members are at, where our folks around us are at. These are the folks that we're really talking to. I know you guys all want to make $1 million in 6 months and be rock stars and drive Ferraris and all that stuff. That's not really our following. But man, small apartments fit the bill.
My Lambo's in this building.
It is. In the second building.
The second building.
So where you got about 5 minutes left here.
Oh, is this the last segment of the?
Yeah, I just muscled through.
No, this is perfect.
Yep.
My lunch started at 11. I get here at 1. This is real estate lunch 101.
Yeah, you see there's no cars in the parking lot, right? It's Thursday.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Friday, this place is a ghost town. Like now, Monday starts to pick up, but Tuesday, Wednesday, busy, and then Thursday starts to trickle out, and then Friday, it's like, are you guys even open? Did they turn your utilities off? But that's life as a real estate investor,
for sure.
right? So, it was interesting. I was at an event last night. I'm going to another one tonight.
Cool.
Got invited by Steve to go. It'll be a lot of fun. And Steve and I were chatting at the back of the room, and we were kind of joking because we have a difference of opinion on. Most people have a difference of opinion with me on that, which is fine. But the end result's the same. It's get in and do this.
Yep.
I was sitting there yesterday at the Noble deal when I gave an hour and a half long talk.
Noble deal in the morning.
Noble in the morning.
Sorry, we got to manage our events.
I know. I got a gazillion. I got Noble yesterday.
Yeah.
Last night was Capital Concepts, and then tonight is Total Wealth Academy. Right. So I'm giving this presentation, and I end the presentation with the HAR report, the HAR report. Mm-hmm. Sorry, the HAR board members that are in this building throw a fit when I call it HAR. So it's HAR, Houston Area Realtors. So, Realtors. Sorry. When I was having this conversation with the folks in the room yesterday, I ended the presentation with the HAR most recent HAR report. So our HAR, our local realtor group, produces a financial report on the state of the housing market every month. It comes out usually the second week of the following month. And the median home price is up 16%. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, I looked at everybody in the room. I said, look, y'all are trying to figure out, like, how do I do more deals? Or is this the right deal? Should I do this deal right? This one right here, should I do it? And while you're figuring that out, someone's just going out there and buying that real estate.
Right here.
Yeah, like hey, Jason, I get this all the time. Hey, Jason, what's considered a deal? Anything inside the state of Texas that produces cash flow. I just got done with this 2-hour-long lunch.
Yep.
It's great. One of my favorite guys to hang out. Well, he is the smartest guy in real estate. There's nobody, and you guys will never meet him. I can tell you that right now. He goes out to the events every now and then, but most people never meet him. And he shared with me one of the business models he's using. And he said, what do you think? I said, is it inside the state of Texas? Yes. Then buy it. I think he's got 600 right now.
Nice.
So it's like, this is not that hard.
Nope.
Your ego wants to make it hard.
Yeah. And your sense of loss over the last few years wants to distort reality.
Yeah, say oh my gosh, there's a better deal. You believe with zero experience that there's a better deal around the corner.
Yes. And that you and I are foolish for buying deals.
Right.
Yep.
It's a complete, that's what, when I say ego, it's a complete ego play.
For sure.
You and I have done, I think we're at 2,000 at this point. We're getting close.
Yeah.
And somebody then comes and tells me who's done a deal or two or none that there's a better deal around the corner. I'm like, dude, I've got more experience than most real estate agents won't have for 10 lifetimes. So I'm telling you right now, there's not a better deal that comes around the corner.
Right.
The best deal is right now. It's that you and I have talked about this. You don't understand where your place in history is until it's over, until it is history.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you right now, it's one of the unique places where we can sit down and say, you're going to look back on this and say, thank God I bought 10 houses in 2021.
Yeah, I picked up an 8-unit or a 12-unit. Like, yeah, for sure.
I bought a small apartment. I bought an Airbnb. Like, thank God I bought that.
Right.
Thank God. And I think a lot of people they're just not seeing that. I saw it last night when I was chatting with a lot of folks. I'm like, you have no idea, dude. You think that whole like you think real estate's expensive now, just wait is a joke. It's not a joke. This is just getting started.
Yes. I've got 32 months and I've by sheer dumb luck, the gods have smiled upon me. Mm-hmm. They put me in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. And in 32 months, oh boy, what I'm going to be sitting on.
Look what you're sitting on now. You've been here for less than 2 years.
I could retire today. I go through this all the time. It's like, why haven't you done it? It's like, I told Jason I'd stick it out, man. We're going to do this
32
together.
months, yeah.
Yep. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Stick around on YouTube. We're going to go on a little bit longer here. But, again, thank you for joining us. If you want to get involved in small apartments, check us out, 281-401-9008. We'll see you around here. Thanks a lot. I haven't figured out how to correct you. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I keep looking at the portfolio, and I'm looking at, if we peel off this 96 doors, some of them single family, some of them small multifamily, man, that's nothing. It's nothing. It's under $100,000 a door.
Yeah.
And they're really well maintained. They're great properties. I'm like, man, I'll split that thing up and I don't know what else I need after that, right?
Right.
If we take a third, there's 33 of them coming my way and 33 going your way and 33 going the other guy's way. It's like, what do we need, guys?
Yeah, what else?
Wow. Okay, let's I guess we're just going to keep going, right?
Yeah, just keep going.
And then sell them and pay them off. That's the plan.
Yeah, just sell them and pay. That was the discussion I had at lunch today. It's like he believes a lot of the same things I do. And this guy's very data-driven, super smart, right? And he said, yeah, there's a real estate crash coming a decade from now. I said, you're absolutely right. I said, I think it's, and he said, so what are you going to do? That was the big, 3 margarita lunch discussion, right? It was like, so what are you going to do? And I said, Rob and I will start to taper in 20. I said, I'm on top of the data every day. You guys have no idea. I probably spend 4 or 5 hours a day just reading stuff. So it'll be somewhere between 26 and 28.
Yep.
And we'll start to taper and we'll start returning 100% cash back to our investors. Mm-hmm. And you and I will go free and clear, and then we'll just sit and go, okay.
Sit on the cash and wait.
Sit on the cash on a beach. I'll come visit you and Catherine at Dana Point, and we'll go, all right, what do we do now? That's going to be the hardest part, it's to go to cash and sit on your hands.
Well, there was a big-time guru in town who went to cash and sat on his hands, and the prices didn't go down.
That's right.
Right? Didn't go down. Should have stayed.
Didn't have the right data.
Yeah, didn't have the right data. So,
but we'll know, and that was the discussion I had literally for 2 hours at lunch. I said, because we're so close to it.
Yeah.
Like we're in it every day.
Yep.
All morning, all afternoon, all evening. And so we'll see it as it comes to fruition. And then it's going to be like, all right, now's the time to go to cash. And let's just back up and then just wait. That's going to be the hardest part. Because we will have been, for me. Well, it won't be because you will already be semi-retired, right?
Yes.
But for me, it's going to be hard. And Brian, too, we're going to be like, whoa, all right, stop. Yeah. And now it's like, sit on your hands at the beach.
Yeah, just wait.
And just wait. Sit on your hands and wait. And then it's like, okay, now we're close to the bottom. Or even, I don't even want to buy at the bottom. I want to buy on the way up. Because then I'll have enough trend lines to say, okay, guys, now it's time to get. It's like, I don't have to buy it at 50 cents on the dollar. No. Totally okay with 60, 65, 70.
Sure.
But, guys, that's almost 10 years from now.
So, all right, guys, thanks for joining us. Got a little bonus time there. We'll see you next Monday.